Russell, first question for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite song of Funny Looking Angels?
Great question. Love it.
I like This Ain't New Jersey.
And why specifically this song?
Why? I don't know. I think it is a bit different from Editors, but I think it's a great song. That was my favourite. Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't choose one that was a cover.
Yeah.
What was it for you when he did that album? Did you like it, or did you thought, well, a strange thing to do, or?
No, I mean, obviously, I knew that we were going through a difficult phase.
Yeah.
So, and I totally understood why Tom would want to do it, which was good, and it's good for everyone's minds to do that, and then it gives us time to think, and obviously through our changes that have happened, that was in the middle of it, so
What did you do during the time frame?
I spent a lot of time in America. I saw my girlfriend for a long period when I usually don't, so
Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. It was. I mean, we were doing things as editors in that time, so there was only the real period I think from November through to like January when Tom was really doing that, and I was totally off. So.
Okay. What's your favorite song?
Off that record?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I do like This Ain't New Jersey as well. Yeah. I think because that was like the first time I'd ever really. That was a co-write with Andy, and it was a proper co-write. Like some of them I'd write more. The other original songs were kind of heavily his or heavily mine. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of covers on that record as well, but that was the one song where we really kind of met in 50-50. So that was quite a nice feeling, really. I'd never done that before. So. How
important was this for you to do? Because Russell said it was a difficult time for the editors. Yeah. Was it important?
I mean, at the time, it didn't feel like I was doing it out of necessity or any kind of weight or of importance was involved. But like Russ said, for the start of that record, the Funny Looking Angels record, Andy and I would work in so editors would maybe rehearse for a week, and then, we'd be doing maybe festivals here and there, and in between the days off, when I was back at London, I'd do like a day with Andy or 2 days, and then it just kind of came together slowly. But it was those little sessions were the opposite of what editors' rehearsals had become, because they'd become a place with no communication, a place where we weren't getting anything of any note done, and it was a scary place because it was like things were going bad, and it was like it was starting to get on everyone's kind of horizons that what's going to happen here. So that was going on, and then like I said, it was the opposite, polar opposite. It was fun. It was with a friend, and it was like we were making a Christmas record. It was bonkers, in itself. And then we did a few shows, and then Christmas was over, and then it was back to editors, and then it was done. So it was just a very short thing.
What did you find when you returned? How was Russell doing? How was
well, good. I mean, I saw Tom for New Year, and we went and had New Year's at Ed's house, and we had a good time. It was good to like catch up, hear what had been going on really.
Yeah. Ed came to one, because obviously Russ spends most of the time in America when we're not doing editor stuff. So, but Ed came to one of the shows in London and got up on stage and banged a tambourine, and I think even him, like then at that point, him coming into that environment and seeing it was just like, I think even that little window, Ed just saw or realised that what was going wrong with editors really. It was.
But did this help you? This experience of having fun while recording, did it help you to make a decision for the four of you when you returned?
I think it was informed my thinking. It didn't make me decide anything, but it definitely it highlighted how scary the situation with editors was.
Yeah.
And how scary was it?
I mean, it wasn't a very nice time, but it's must be good to have those times and to get some realisation of scenarios and what's going on between people, and to address it, because the things don't happen overnight, and essentially they took years to, finally come to a head.
Yeah.
But there was always, issues. So it's like, right, we'll make a decision now.
When did it start? I mean, in hindsight, when you think, well,
I mean, obviously the last year from 2011 through to when Chris left, like April, March 2012. That was the deciding time. But it goes back longer than that, really. Always had bumps in the road.
was it with the three of you against him, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as like against sounds a bit too aggressive, because we all four of us were trying to make it work. Like long periods of like trying to work out how four of us creatively can continue to function. But over that, year and a bit of it slowly getting worse and worse, you realise that three of us can't function with one of us anymore. Like there's no way as four of us we're going to go forward, make a record that we'd be happy with and get released to. So, do we want editors to keep going? Yes. The only way for that to happen is for Russ, I and Ed to do it. And it wasn't a falling out. We didn't ever argue. It wasn't like there was stones thrown. It was just a realisation that was the truth, And Chris is a funny one, like he's a funny personality. It was a hard situation because he was our mate, and we'd been mates for a long time, and but he was so narrow in what he wanted to do. Me, us three, we wanted to, I don't know, try different things, and there's no way Chris would have made this record that we've made, and there's no way that we could have made another record. So it was yeah, it was tough.
That's the last thing about this. How did you break the news to him? Did you do it, or?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's not a very nice thing, but you just have to do it. So you just talk. Yeah.
So like
it's a very, very daunting thing, and very real.
Yeah.
It's as brutally honest as any relationship, long-standing relationship coming to an end.
What did he say? Was he quiet, or did he?
Yeah, I mean it's not a good thing, but I think we don't really talk at the moment, so we'll see how it is in hindsight. But I think we know that everyone is relieved that is the decision, and I think everyone's okay with that.
But did he see it coming?
No.
Not really. Yeah. So it's I think it's hard when to look at it on yourself, but I don't know. Yeah, there's always, it's just you have to have a think.
Have you spoken to him?
Recently, no.
But you have spoken to him after the break.
No.
No.
He lives in New York, so it's not like
Yeah.
no, we don't bump into each other really.
No, it could be that maybe after a few months that.
Yeah, it's the situation is still very raw.
Yeah.
What can you say?
But it was a starting point for this album.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a big starting point.
Yeah.
It was. Obviously that was bad time. So.
Close to stopping.
Well, yeah, it was either that decision or right, let's all pack our bags. But
it's either I take the songs elsewhere and do something else with them probably, or the three of us who want to make it work continue. And even at that point, there's still the thought that, well, this is changed fundamentally from what we were. So there's a very strong possibility here we might not be able to make this work again. We didn't know that I guess the people that came in to play guitar and do things with us, or the new members of the band that came in, we didn't know that was going to work. It's conceivable that you're not going to find somebody again creatively that you can share that thing that you need to when you're a band. So there was also the possibility that you know, it crossed my mind that just the three of us would make an editor's record, just three of us. And I think we could have maybe done that, but you don't know, do you? It's like fully aware at that point when all this vast unknown and everything's changed and everything that you know, knew we knew how it worked before, and it was all changed. And so there's the realization then that you're thinking, well, in a year's time, will we have a record out, or will we, you know, be doing something else?
Who came up with Justin?
Flood.
Flood, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How come? Why?
Basically, Flood had Justin under his wing for quite some time, and he was kind of training him to be a producer, really, because Flood had done a UK Name Is Milo record, and you know, Flood had done 2 recording sessions with us that had not worked out very well. And so he kind of knew what personality we might need to have in our band, you know. And Justin's a really creative guy and really flexible, and you know, just he would listen to ideas from other members, and especially Ed, who really came to the forefront in the band, you know, on this record. You know, it was totally amazing to see him in the studio this time around.
So Flood knew what you needed.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, you know, when we told Flood what had happened, you know, he was obviously shocked, but
he wasn't surprised.
No, you know. So we're like, and yeah, he'd recorded a record with Justin a long time ago, and kept in contact, like Russ said, and he knew the kind of personality that he was, and he thought that he was, you know, he's the polar opposite of what Chris is. So yeah, it was Flood's idea, and yeah, he came in to do primarily to do a show that we had, but we had a commitment to do a show, a big show, the biggest show we'd ever done. And when Chris had gone, I was like, let's cancel this show and work out how to fix.
What show was it?
We were headlining Rock Werchter, which is you know, as big as it gets really for a band. And then so like 3 months beforehand.
Yeah, it was even closer than that, I think.
But Russ and Ed were like, no, we should do this. You know,
Why? Why did you want to do it?
Because we made our decision, you know, that we weren't going to have Chris with us. So if we're going to carry on, then we have to do it, you know. And let's go for it, you know. It's like, let's do something. Yeah. You know, a bit fed up of sitting around.
Yeah, we've been sitting around for 2 years in a rehearsal room. It's like, oh.
Yeah, let's do it. And also, I didn't want to just have one person stepping in, you know, because essentially you can be playing a lot of Chris's material, you know, on guitar, and didn't want to just be the new guitarist, because everyone would be like, oh, it's not the same, and the point is, it isn't the same. And we wanted Elliot to come in and play piano and sing, and
why?
know.
We've done a lot.
Why him? Why fifth member?
Well, we were fifth member because we'd done a lot of touring with REM, and was it 5 members? So 6 members, and the whole thing was just a bit more musical. Yeah. Like we felt a little bit restricted by just 4 of us on stage. Like, an extra pair of hands gives you a chance to, and an extra set of lungs as well. Just keyboards, piano, acoustic guitars,
vocals, you know, which, like, you know, me and Ed can have a go, but you know, we're not really singers, so.
And you could say, I mean, you could kind of simplify. Oh yeah, okay, so the sound gets bigger because there's another member, but that's not just it. It's like it's more musical. There's more give and take between the musicality of 5 people, and I think we just reached a point in our career where we wanted to have that flexibility and feel that way.
And we had I don't know, some ideas of who could come in, and then I think both, you know, me and Tom at the same point, you know, were just like, you know, our manager said, what about, you know, Elliot? And we're like, yeah, you know, we really like Elliot. And yeah, I could really see him like fitting in, and you know, because we did quite a bit of touring with him, and yeah, it was good. He's a bit younger than us as well, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. He's enthusiastic. I think the 2 guys that we've got in are so enthusiastic. You know that you know that's good to have in a room, to have energy. You know, to be able to start talking and bouncing ideas around.
Did you really ask them to be part of the band?
Yeah. That was, you know, we said, look, we've got this show that we need to do. We want you to come in and you know, we want to do this show. That's the minimum that's going to happen. But also, we were very open to start with. We might throw some new songs around and see how it goes. And you know, if that goes well, then who knows? Maybe we'll make a record together. And then then now you're in the band if you want. Do you want to be in the band? All that kind of stuff. Because you don't know immediately that it's going to work out. But we were open that was the possibility.
When did you first have the idea? Well, now we are 5-piece. Now we're really a band with 5 people.
Well, after Werther, we just thought, we've done this show, we've started writing, we played some new songs at that show. Let's continue it and continue the path, because it started and we'd been hanging around and deliberating for long enough. So it's like, we've got something and let's work at it. So.
Did they like your previous work?
Yeah. I think Elliot had seen it. Like Elliot came to see us when he was 17 on our first record. Yeah. And Justin comes from a more left field background. Like your codename is Milo was the name of his band, and just generally his he'll do things slightly more left field and less commercial or whatever. And
he'd always been
cool.
Well, watching us from a distance, as he said. But
it's funny when you hear his take on what we were or are.
Yeah. What did he say then?
Well, because we're always quite negative about you remember bad reviews more than good ones, don't you? Okay. So we're always we've never been a press band, but you get not down on yourself, but just you have a general negative attitude to the way that people look at you. And 3 or 4 albums in now, you get kind of weary of it. But Justin was like, well, no, you're like a massive band that are kind of cool that nobody knows, and your fans love you, and it was just nice to hear someone be positive about us, blow smoke up our arse, I guess.
Yeah. What songs were actually written when you went into the studio as a 5-piece?
The majority of them, really. I mean, all of them in a certain way. Things did change in the studio. Songs like Nothing or The Phone Book, or
Phone Book kind of didn't. Yeah, I think Bird of Prey, I think was rerun, but yeah.
Yeah, Bird of Prey. Yeah, that was mostly the most uncertain song. That how we're going to do this, but
I think 75-80% of the record was. We'd done a lot of rehearsals in the time, so a lot of them were rehearsal room ready, as near as we've ever been since making our debut record, I think. Obviously, records 2 and 3, the songs are younger, and you go in the studio with a less of an idea what's going to happen because you just don't have time. It's but we'd spent a lot of time throwing them around, so they felt quite formed. And making the type of record that we wanted to make, we deliberately tried to make a more simple, straightforward record, and a rock record, and kind of embracing those sensibilities, and going to Nashville to make it with Jakir King, who really is he's a songs man, he's about kind of getting most out of performances, and it's not about kind of any kind of trickery or covering things up. It's about space and the parts being right. So that helped, because in a rehearsal room, you've got 5 people playing, and that's what you're trying to do. Make the most out of every moment.
Why did you want to make a more straightforward album? Why?
I don't know. I think sometimes you react to what you've previously done. The last record was synthesizer heavy and had lots of little things bubbling away and coming in and out. And this time we just wanted to feel like the band playing in a room and being straight up, because that was kind of the whole process of this album, really. What happened between the split with Chris.
It felt like the songs were the songs were leading us to that direction as well. The songs I were writing felt like, a bit more simple, and a bit more. And I think maybe part of the reason that we didn't get to a point with Chris that any of us were happy is because with Chris they'd always kind of get clouded in kind of more kind of abstract ideas, and they get covered up, and we just always felt that the songs were being lost with his way of approaching them, and and that was I don't know why the songs that I was writing started to feel more. I don't know what the word is, but
But do you feel more matured, maybe?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you say a mature record, that might scare people because you're like, oh, it's old and boring, or something. I don't know, but it's it definitely isn't. I think it's a pretty exciting record. But we are, you know, I think
We are old and boring.
Yeah, and we've definitely grown up in the last like couple of years, a little bit more.
Yeah, we're all in our 30s, you know, like
Yeah.
3 of us have got kids,
Yeah.
and, you know, Justin's a bit older than we are as well. It's like,
Yeah.
there's a certain, it's not like we're old, but you see the new bands and you go, I don't feel connected to you anymore, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not what you are anymore, and that's fine. Whether or not I ever was, or we ever were, maybe we weren't, maybe we always
Little
were a
punks.
bit. Yeah. So, you know, and the bands that we admire and respect, even the ones that, you know, Your Elbows or National or Biffy Clyro, they're bands that are like, you know, they're on their like 5th or 6th record. They, you know, they're building up a body of work.
Yeah.
They have longevity, and yeah, they make different types of records, but we respect that they're, you know, still doing it, still writing good songs, and that's, we've always tried to emulate that. So.
Yeah. The album is called The Weight of Your Love.
Yeah.
There's some sort of reference in the first song. It's called The Weight. Was this, well, did you call the album after its first song, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that song was actually, it was originally called The Weight of Your Love, that song, but we kind of didn't feel like the album really wanted a title track as you know. Yeah, I mean, the record, pretty much all the songs on the record deal with my attempts at writing love songs of a type. Some of them are fairly straightforward, some of them are less so, some of them are kind of breakup songs, and some of them are a little bit twisted in the imagery or the delivery, but they're still me trying to write kind of pretty straightforward love songs. And
Why?
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 I just feel more comfortable. I don't know. I just, you know, we've always tried to do something that we feel like we've not done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we feel like we're rehashing old ground, we get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that stems to the lyrics as well. It's a topic that I would have always run away from when I was younger. On the first 3 records, you know, it's something that would have been intimidating and something I wouldn't have been comfortable at trying to approach. And I don't, why? Like, yeah, maybe it's, you know, a few more years under the, you know, under the engine. Yeah, just felt like the right thing to do. Felt exciting. I was, you know, I was inspired in creating these kind of images and writing about the topic in a way that I thought was interesting.
How long are you in a relationship now? Has that something to do with it too, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's not. I'm trying to work out what year is it.
2013.
Okay. Like 8 years, something like that. So.
Maybe because you've grown in that love relationship. Can it be also too that you now feel comfortable and you feel
Trying to describe it, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, some of the, you know, yeah, possibly. You know, there's a certain solidity, or you know, yeah, possibly. I mean, my mind wanders as well. You know, they're not all directly related to me. You know, there's breakup songs on the record too. You know, they're a type of love song, but they're still breakup songs. They're not related specifically to me at the moment, at least. I think your mind should wander as a writer, but it comes from you anyway. So.
Yeah. What was the first song that you thought, well, now, hey, this is something that you succeeded in writing?
For editors, just on this record.
Yeah. What was the starting point for you, lyric-wise? You say, well, this is.
It didn't. It was like it. It happened without really consciously deciding. Like I think I got like 4 or 5 songs in, and I realised every song had love in the title. And I changed that. I didn't want them all to have love in the title, really. But yeah, it wasn't a conscious decision. I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's leading me this way.
What did you think? Or does it, when you read the lyrics, did you talk to him about it, or?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, when we get sent the demos and they do have the love titles in, you know, get that, you know. But yeah, it's a topic that has been sung about many times, like the history of song, and you know, I don't think it's any different from us, and we put a good stroke on it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so, you know, very proud of the record.
I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I thought maybe there were certain songs, lyrics about Chris too, Chris leaving.
again, that's in hindsight. I mean, some of that. I mean, I wrote like what's this thing called Love, which is a breakup song, and that would be the obvious one. But that was written when Chris was still in the band. So
No, I thought maybe A Ton of Love.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking, I lit a match in Vienna tonight. It caused a fire in New York. I don't know, maybe something happened within the band. I don't know, because, well, two of you live in New York, and maybe you...
I hadn't thought. I mean, that was written after Chris left. Not purposefully so. No, I wouldn't. I felt like those kind of that song is kind of trying to kind of capture that excitement when two people meet, and that kind of youthful kind of explosion of, you know, feelings or passion, and that feeling that suddenly that anything else around you is irrelevant. You know, be it, you know, the world outside the window is no longer important when you're in that kind of moment. So I didn't really feel I was writing about Chris.
Another one, honesty. Is it? I was thinking maybe this one was also about, well, the situation that the band was in. Honesty, that you needed honesty to...
It could be. I mean, that song's like, sometimes in a relationship, like two people, you know, being honest with each other over and over again can lead to complications. You know, sometimes you can be too, you know, it can make things go weird if you're too open with people. Sometimes it's best not to tell somebody the truth, I guess. And that happens in a relationship when you're, you know, completely open with each other, and there are moments when it just goes a bit weird. Yeah. And that's what honesty's at, I think, about. So.
Last question. There's one thing that Ed said in the bio, that he said, well, recording this album, I felt fully fledged, contributing member of the band. Mm. Did you know this?
I felt that as well. No, I felt that for Ed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But did you know that it wasn't on previous albums?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, these parts, you know, it's just Ed playing and doing what he wants to do, rather than, you know, a lot of the time Chris would be saying, no, do this, you know.
Paul McCartney.
You know, yeah, you can, you know, he's sitting back a lot more on the drums and letting them breathe a lot more. It's less tight, there's less 16ths, I don't think there's any really. So it's just him playing his drums. And also, not just that, but, you know, having a real contribution in, like, the riffs, you know, how a melody should go, you know, and that had never happened before. So, you know, that was it's a great thing.
So, and he also changed, being more, I don't know, happy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was full of enthusiasm, and you know, I think it was the first time that when we've been working with the producer, they've really kind of like latched on and been like the direct talking point.
Yeah, and actually wanting to know Ed's opinion and things like that.
Really, you know, Jakku would ask Ed for a conference quite often, so you know, that was good. It was good for him to have some different roles, you know, and it was good experience.
Thank you for your time.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice one.